Hey guys, what's going on? James Daniel here to make buying a home in San Pedro, California simple. And today we're going to go over condo insurance. The reason I want to go over condo insurance is because I recently had a friend and past client ask about just her cost of her insurance. And we were kind of going back and forth on the different coverages we have in our insurance and who we're using. But I don't want to go into that much detail today. I just want to go over the different types of insurance that you will come across when you are buying a condo. I remember being a first time home buyer and spending so much time on like how to obviously get my credit up, get money for a down payment, figuring more about the process of buying a home. And I really didn't think about the insurance piece until I was like getting to escrow or right before that. So definitely something that I want to go over today. So some things that you can expect and just do more research in and talk to your insurance agent about, which I am a real estate agent. I am not an insurance agent. So this will just give you the groundwork to be more prepared for that conversation with your insurance agent so that you know really what you need as far as coverage. So if you like this content, please hit the like button. If you like any of the videos that are coming out or want to see more of the stuff I have coming out, please hit the subscribe button to get content from me at least twice a week. Let's get into the content. So condo insurance, definitely a key piece in buying your first home or buying a home, as it is amongst the key piece when it comes to like your auto or any other major appliances you need insurance for. But I think that, as I stated in the beginning, when you are first on your journey to buy your home, you are thinking about so many other things, just trying to think of the money and the process of getting into a home, that insurance may sometimes be on the back burner, which, I understand. You're so focused on just the end goal that some of these little things don't help out. And that's what I'm here for today, to help you out. And I have seen just a little preview of the new purchase agreement for buyers, and insurance is going to be a contingency on there. It has always pretty much been something required by a lender before you close on a home, but now it is on that contract, which I think is good because it kind of gives another step for us as agents to go over with you as we're going through that contract. You may ask, why insurance? I can, you're not supposed to drive around without car insurance. Why do I need house insurance? So a few reasons. You want to protect your investment. You've been saving, you've been getting your credit together, you've been doing all this to lead up to this. And if something, God forbid it happens, you want to make sure you're covered. And everything that does get messed up is, replaced, and you're fine with that. Lender requirements. As I stated before, a lot of lenders will not let you close on the home or go past a certain stage in escrow if you do not have insurance. So definitely a key thing that you're going to need to have. In HOA requirements. So, as we'll go over in this, there's a master policy, which the HOA covers the outside of the home and the different details on that. Inside the home, you're going to need to be able to cover that. And, your HOA is going to require you to have insurance inside your home in case something happens. And last, peace of mind. You just want to be able to sleep at night knowing that, as I mentioned before, everything in your house is covered, from your clothes to your jewelry, to your appliances, to the new floors that you just got, to the walls. Whatever may happen, it is covered. You can sleep well at night knowing that you are covered by your insurance. So let's get into the two different types of insurances that you'll have to come across when you are buying a condo. So there are two different types of insurance policies that you're going to come across when you're buying your condo or live in a condo. So first, let's go over the master policy. Now, the master policy is held by the HOA. You will pay for this in your HOA fee every month, but this covers two different areas of your condo. So the first one would be the general liability. So if something happens in the common areas, the garage, or on the property of the condo, when someone gets hurt or something happens, this part of this insurance will cover that. The second one is your property liability insurance. So this covers the walls, outside, exterior walls, the roof, maybe other different parts, and something that you're really going to have to look into when you are about to buy this condo to see exactly what that covers on the property of your new condo. Make sure you're fine with that and that your lender is fine with that. One of the things that, for example, in my condo, I have a deck. I have to cover the deck, but the roof, where it has like Spanish tiles on it, is covered by the HOA. So like I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you're working with your insurance agent, working with your real estate agent, to really have a clear understanding of what this master policy covers before you move forward. So the next set or type of insurance that you're going to come across when you are purchasing a condo outside of the master policy would be your HO6 condo policy. So this is going to be for anything inside the condo. As I mentioned before, the master policy is everything that's outside of the condo. And you're going to have to go around and essentially shop around to see what's the best for you based on the coverages I'm going to go over. Outside of, say, the master policy has already been set in place. You are paying for that in your HOA, but it's already been set in place. So let's go over a few of these different things. So I have a few of them here. The first one would be your dwelling coverage. So this is anything that's inside of your house. So the walls, fixtures, things of that sort. Anything that the policy, the other policy for your master policy for your HOA does not cover, that's inside of your home. So definitely a key one there. Personal property, another big one. So you're going to really want to take inventory of what is inside your house. So couches, jewelry, maybe even clothing, tables, TVs, things like that, and just kind of get an estimate of how much all of these things cost, and make sure you have enough coverage to cover these in case of a fire or water damage or whatever might happen inside of your house, that you are getting reimbursed for these things if something happens. Liability coverage. So almost like the general liability in the master policy that happens in the common areas of your condo, this is anything that happens inside your condo. So if someone gets hurt, a guest gets hurt, if someone tries to sue you for something that happened in your condo, things like that, this would cover those expenses. And we'll talk a little bit more about umbrella insurance, and this will kind of raise that overall coverage amount inside of this HO6 insurance. But definitely a key one in this whole group of insurances. The next thing would be loss of use. So my wife and I were actually talking about this yesterday, because as I was going over this, but this one would be, if something happens to your condo and you need to be in a hotel for an estimated period of time, how much money would you need for that period of time? So say, for instance, if you need to be out of your condo for 30 days, how much is it going to cost to rent a place, whether it's Airbnb, Furnish Finder, hotel, whatever that might be, and how much would you need to cover in food during those times? So something to definitely think about, a worst case scenario, how long you would potentially have to be outside of your house before it gets fixed up to its back to living conditions. So definitely take that into consideration, and get a daily amount, times that by the amount of days that you broke down, and it should give you the number of that. Next is medical insurance. So, if a guest, medical coverage. So if a guest gets hurt, the medical bills on that. So making sure you have the right amount of money to cover that. And then the next thing would be just loss of asset coverage. So this could be for, loss assessment coverage. So this could be for, say for instance, a tree falls on your house or in your condo, right? And the HOA, and it's going to cost $75,000. And the HOA only has $60,000. The rest of the people in the building are going to have to pay for this. So this part of the insurance, some insurances don't have this in this HO6, some do. Definitely work with your lender on that, or maybe under some certain things. I know this specific line item is not in mine, but this insurance would cover that gap for this assessment that you would potentially have to come out of pocket on if you did not have that. So that goes over all of the HO6 pieces of the condo insurance. Definitely something, as I said before, that you're going to need before you close escrow on your home. And I hope this helps you just to get an idea of the different pieces that come into this insurance and how they work. So let's now talk about some additional pieces of insurance that you can get depending on where you live, or things that you might want. in your home. The first one of these additional coverages would be flood insurance. So say, for instance, your home is in a flood zone. You're going to be required by your lender to get flood insurance. And even if you aren't required by your lender, I think this is something that you're going to want to do. I did a open house somewhere in San Diego when I was living out there and running my business out there. And this house was, when I was looking up the details before to kind of prepare for this open house, it wasn't a flood zone. And I walked around the neighborhood and some of the neighbors, actually one of the neighbors told me it was a flood zone. And I had asked some different questions about how it happened and how the water was there. And 2 years later, the water came, and we had earlier this year, 2024, we had a lot of rain, and I think that area definitely got flooded. Where the house sit, just kind of thinking of how it would have got flooded. So hopefully they had flood insurance, and this will help with some of the damages that may come with a flood. So if you're curious about if your home's in a flood zone, you can definitely go online to be able to look in on the FEMA site and see a different map and kind of see where your house sits in a flood zone, and you're going to want to be prepared in case something does happen. The next thing would be just earthquake insurance. Being here in California, some lenders or some HOAs may require you to have earthquake insurance. Definitely something to look into. Definitely talk to your insurance company about that, your real estate agent, and maybe even the HOA or some neighbors to kind of see what they have on there for their home. The next would be your umbrella insurance. So as I mentioned before, this is kind of incremental to the other liability coverage that you have. So, say, if I have a liability coverage right now that goes up to $300,000, the umbrella insurance will go up to at least $1 million. Once again, talk to your insurance provider about that to make sure that the insurance company that you're working with goes to that number. But I believe most of them do go up to that $1 million mark to be able to cover you in case something major happens inside your home. The next would be assessment coverage, which we talked about before. Like I mentioned, some may include, some HO6 may include this, some may not. Work with your insurance agent on this as well. And this goes back to the example I said before. Tree falls on your house, your HOA is only covering so much because that's only the amount that they have in reserves. You're going to have to come out of pocket for something else, and hopefully that does not happen because you would have this insurance to be able to cover that incremental amount. So guys, I hope this helps anyone who is on their journey of buying a home, someone who just needs a refresher on what the different breakdowns are of the condo insurance and the master policy. I know it's something that definitely had come up lately, as I had told you guys, so really wanted to get this out and help anyone who is looking for more information. If you have any questions on this, please feel free to reach out. My information is below. Said, hope this helps you guys on your journey. Take care. Have a great rest of the day. Ciao.